get started. Our topic today is going to be best phone and tablet applications. And I'll be presenting. My name is Tom Kreuzer. Little bio on myself. I'm known as the PC guy because I have the license plate PC guy. I'm the son of John Kreuzer in the back there here at Carondelet. I retired about 10 years ago from 3M after working there for 40 years in their information technology. I still am active. 3M has a personal computing club. In fact, I gave this presentation at 11:30 today to the 3M Computer Club. At its peak, we had over 1,200 members in the 3M Computing Club. I mentioned I'm thrifty, not cheap. So if there's an inexpensive way, like with the keyboard, yes, you can pay $199 for an Apple keyboard, but just like Nancy said, there's keyboards out there for $30 or even less that are going to work just as well, and you might as well save yourself some money there. I do one-on-one free tech help. You can sign up for a 30-minute slot. The slots that I do are usually the first and the third Monday from 1 to 3. You sign up down at the front desk. There's also Tom Strum here who does support, and he does it on the second and the fourth Wednesday from 2:30 to 4:30. And again, you can sign up at the front desk or give them a call. Okay, next, I usually do these once a month. The next presentation is going to be in March, and I have March 19th listed here, but actually you have a singer coming in here March 19th. So I am moving to Monday, March 23rd, and that'll be on WellZesta and the other calendars there. And we'll talk about online security, why you need a password manager. So you must have a password manager. If you don't have a password manager, you need to get a password manager. Then we'll talk about some of these other new things coming along, like passkeys and other ways to keep your system safe. Along with my sister and brother-in-law and my dad, we do a Fix-It clinic. And the next Fix-It clinic is going to be March 24th, Tuesday, March 24th from 1 to 3. And so if you have broken stuff, bring it in. This is where I usually show how to get to past meetings if you've missed it or want a handout from a past meeting or that. I had them out on the Carondelet website. The Carondelet website, if you're not familiar, is gone now. And it's been replaced. Presbyterian Homes wants Carondelet underneath its umbrella. So there's a page or two that Carondelet has out on the Presbyterian Homes site. So I no longer have my information out there. However, I worked with Brenda here, and we came up with a solution to make this stuff available, and you can get at it through WellZesta. Also, not on this handout, but all future handouts, I'll have the exact link or where to go where you can get this information to see past recordings and past handouts there. In fact, let's do this. Let me quickly, where am I? Excuse me here. Let's go here. Okay, where are we here? Let me go back here. So on WellZesta, if you go to the menu and then Resources, Concierge here, if we go down to the L's, there's Learn About Tech Help Resources. And if you click on that, it'll take you to a website, and this website has all the past presentations that have been done and videos and handouts. And so hopefully people will start to figure out where this stuff is located, but it is available, and I do record all the presentations, the screen. I record that along with the handouts. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, let's get to our main topic, which is phone and tablet apps. We've got a lot to cover. Hopefully everybody has a handout. The handouts are in the back there. There's over 300 apps listed on here. And we'll talk first about what this spreadsheet or what this list has. So let's go through. The first column is a category. So I've categorized the apps into different categories ranging from cooking to weather. And then the next column here is the app, and this is the name of the application. The names can vary a little bit from an Apple device to an Android device. So when you're searching for an app, be careful what you type in and make sure that you're getting the right one, because like I say, they do vary a little bit from one system to another. The next column that I have is cost. Most of the apps are free of charge, but there are some that have a monthly cost or a one-time cost, and I try and list those. The next is the operating system. Most of the apps are available for both the Apple or an Android phone, but there are a few that are just available for an Android or just available for an Apple, so I try and list that, but most of them are both. And then this key is this list. I didn't just pull these apps out of the air. I get them from a number of trusted sources that I've used over the years. And if it has an A in that column, that came from the PC Magazine 100 Best Android Apps. B is PC Magazine 100 Best iPhone Apps. C is Tom's Guide. It's not my personal guide. Tom's is a well-respected website, and they have some suggestions. Then I have the top 50 Google apps, and then if there's a T in there, it's one that I recommend and use. And I have both an Android smartphone and an iPad tablet, so I use both there. And then if there's an M in there, it's been recommended by a 3M Personal Computing Club member. And then this last column, new, I give this presentation every 2-3 years. So if it's a new listing on the list of applications since the last time, I mark it as new there. So where do you download your apps? Well, most of you should be familiar with going out. If you have an Apple device, you go out to the Apple Store. There's over 2 million apps out there, so that's why you have to be careful what name you put in and what shows up there. For Android, you're usually going out to the Google Play Store. That has 3 million apps out there. Some people will load stuff from other sources. For most of you, I do not recommend that you ever load an app on your phone or tablet unless it came from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. If it came in an email or you were on a website and it had a button to push to load an app, don't do it because that's how some viruses and some scammers will be doing stuff, so I don't recommend that. Okay, let's take a look at if you were looking out on the Google Play Store, and if I typed in CookPad Recipes, which is one of the apps that is on the list there, you get back a number of results here, and if you click on it to get detail, you then get more detail. This is important. You can take a look at the detail here because there's a lot of good information on this page. The first thing you can see is reviews and scores. So this, in this case, this app has got 4.6 stars out of 5 stars maximum, and that. The next thing is this tells you how many people are using it, how many devices is it installed on. In this case, this is on 10 million devices. If you have an app and it's only on 100 devices or 1,000 devices, don't use it, because if most of the apps on this list had over 1 million users around the world. This is around the world. And you want to use popular things that people are doing. You don't want to use something that only a handful of people are using and isn't that good. This is a way, if you're searching on a laptop or that, you can actually do an install. And so I don't have to be on my phone looking this up on the small screen. If you have a bigger screen, you can install it on different devices that you have. And then this is an area where you'll see images of what the screen may look like, or even a video of how the application works, so you can get a good idea. So before you download it, you can check out these things. Also, if you've tried this and you're not real happy with this application, it'll recommend similar applications. So let's say you didn't like this, try some of the similar ones there. If you scroll down, you'll get even more information about the application. So this is the details about the application here. The next field here is the last updated. And this is kind of like that install. You want to make sure that it's been recently updated, because if it hasn't been updated in a year or 2 years, that just means that it's out of date and bugs aren't getting fixed, or they haven't added any new features. You want something that's being updated and kept current. This is a new entry that both of them have added in the last couple of years, called data safety. This tells you what the company is doing with the data that they collect. So this will give you an idea of, excuse me, what information they collect, and whether it uses like your camera or your contacts. It'll tell you that information. And then this is detail on the rating, so you can see how many people rated it 5 stars and what their comments were. Before you install new apps on your phone, I recommend that you go out and delete old apps that you aren't using, because we all install stuff, we maybe use it once or twice, and then you stop using it. Well, if you aren't using it, delete it from your phone. It'll free up space, it'll make the phone faster, and you'll have less items to scroll through and look for the stuff that you really use. And because at any time, let's say you delete a bunch of things, if you do need it a month from now or 2 months from now, just go out and install it then. You know, there's no cost to most of these things, so you're not having to pay, and if you do need it, install it when you do use it. The other thing is, in some cases, you don't even have to install an app to use a number of services on the internet. You can use a browser and go out to, let's say, your bank, or go out to a certain place there. You don't have to, in some cases, use an app itself. So you can weigh whether you want to use a browser or use an app there. Try them, see which has the features and the functions that you want, and then you can use it. Okay, the format of this meeting, we're going to move quickly, because I'm not going to go into detail on all 300 apps, but there's enough apps that we'll have to move quickly. I ask you to hold your questions unless you think it's a quick question or comment there. Okay, let's take a look at the list. Let me go back here, and let me do this. Okay, so this is the list. You should all have the printed copy, and we'll be starting at the top and working our way through. What I've done is I've highlighted a few of them that I'll talk about and that I recommend. So this is an example here. It's an app called Tip and Split. It's not a complicated app, but it provides a really unique function. And let's go out to the Google Play Store so you can kind of see some of that information that we talked about before. So let's go here. Let me go here. So this is the Google Play Store. The Apple Store is very, very similar, almost the same type of deal. You can do a search. So I can search for the app Tip and Split. And get here. And I get back some results if I want to see that detail that we were looking at. Well, this has been over 1 million downloads, 4 stars. Here's some examples of some of the screens there. And the screens, you can put in any information. If you're out eating or that, and you want to figure out how to split the bill, put in the numbers, and it'll immediately generate everything for you. The other nice thing about this application is if you're traveling, either internationally, and you want to know how much do I tip at a hotel, it'll tell you. It has information on tipping and what should be done. That's all this app does, is do the calculations to help you split it and to give you some information. But I find it very helpful. I don't have to pull out the calculator on my phone and type in a lot of numbers. This is much easier for me to work with there. Okay, the next one we'll talk about is photography. Do people take a lot of photos, or not too much here? Adobe Lightroom is kind of a semi-professional package for doing editing and that of photos. Very, very powerful. And with it, you get some online storage. It does cost you $11.99 a month. But if you truly are into taking photos and want to create the best photos that you can, it's an excellent package. Oh, let's go back here. I skipped. Okay, another editing package for photos is called Google Photos. Google Photos is a simplified version. It doesn't have all the features and functions that Adobe has, but it lets you view, edit, and back up your photos and create albums and share them with people, and that's available free of charge on both platforms there. Okay, another photo kind of related one is called Google Photo Scan. So some people will want to, they'll be at somebody's house and they see a picture and they go, I'd like to use my camera and take a picture of that. Well, you can take a picture, but frequently there may be glare on the picture, or you may get it at the wrong angle, and you may not have it cropped correctly. There's extra stuff on the top, the bottom, all over. This is a package which takes makes it so much easier for you to do, because what you do, let's see if we can get here. Where am I here? So let's go out here, back here, and we'll scan. We'll search for Google Photo Scan. So this, instead of just taking one picture, you position your phone to capture the image, and it could be a piece of art up on the wall or anything else. You position it, and then it'll tell you to move the camera around to 4 different places. And as you move the camera around to 4 different places, it stitches together and creates one image without glare. So if there was glass on it, you won't have glare, and it'll try and give you the best copy of whatever picture you're trying to take there. It'll also crop it to get rid of borders and things like that. So it does that all automatically for you. And again, it's an example, no charge for the app. And if you're trying to capture images or photos from other people or stuff on the wall, it's a great great application for that. Okay, another one in this category of creativity is, it's called Reimagine. It's for scanning and enhancing photos. So this comes from a company called MyHeritage, which does genealogy, but they're one of the leaders in artificial intelligence, cleaning up photos, making them sharper, adding color to black and white photos. So it has all these different options to let you work with photos there, and it's a great package. The free version gives you a limited number that you can convert. If you do have hundreds or a whole bunch of thousands of pictures that you want to work with, then you're going to have to buy a subscription or that to the package, the full package. Okay, let's go. Okay, the next one is in the education category, and it's called Khan Academy. Khan Academy is a set of classes, online classes, that range everything from almost preschool up to postdoctorate. So you can, the same classes that are taught in colleges and high school and all over, they're all available out here. Thousands of classes are available for free out there. Actually, the person who paid, or the people that paid for them, are like Bill Gates contributed, Warren Buffett contributed, a number of wealthy people paid to have all this stuff put out there for the entire world to take advantage of. And the classes, an example could be if you've got a grandchild that's in school and they're starting algebra and you don't remember anything about algebra, you can take a refresher class and learn about some of these subjects. But it's also a case of, let's say you wanted to get into nuclear fission. You can take classes on nuclear fission or artificial intelligence or any topic under the sun, because again, there's thousands and thousands of classes out there. Okay. Another one in the education category that I recommend, it's called TED by TED, and it's the TED conferences. And if you're not familiar, these are conferences where they bring subject matter experts from around the world in to give a speech and educate people on all these thousands of different topics. And the topics themselves usually are about 20 minutes long, so it's not like you're listening to a 4-hour lecture that you're going to fall asleep. It's highly engaging and interesting people giving the talks, and the people range all the way from Barack Obama to nuclear physicists to anybody under the sun there. Okay, the next category is entertainment, and what you have in entertainment, I'm just listing a couple of things here. This is a CW stream where you can stream channel 23 locally here on your phone or on your tablet for free. Another example of that is there is currently the Minnesota State High School League has the women's hockey tournament. And the women's hockey tournament is not on channel 5. If you want to watch it, you can watch it on the KSTP streaming app. So if you install that free of charge, you can watch the girls' state hockey, because eventually on Friday and Saturday, those games will be on channel 5.2 or the other channel there for channel 5. But there's all kinds of viewing. If you're looking to view things, there's tons of free stuff, free channels, free content there. Here's another app in the entertainment side. It's called Pocket Cast. I use it for podcasts, and it has a free level there, and so you can subscribe to podcasts and have them automatically added to your playlist. And so I have maybe 5 or 6 different podcasts that I listen to because I try and get my walks in, and it'll download those, and I can listen to them anytime I want, and it's all managed there for me. Let's go. Okay, this is one in the entertainment too. TV Guide. I think everybody's familiar with TV Guide. It's exactly what you think. It's by the TV Guide company, and it's showing you the TV stations and what's on there. And I use it because I can use it on my tablet. I can tell it what channels I'm interested in, what stations I'm interested in, and I can quickly get that up to figure out what I want to record, because I rarely watch anything live on TV. I record it, and I can zip by the commercials and do some things. Well, the TV Guide will tell me if it's a rerun or not a rerun, when it's on, so I can quickly look at that list and figure out what I want to record or what I'm going to watch there. Okay. The next one is in the finance category, and so almost every bank or stock brokerage firm has an app, and those apps sometimes have some very useful functions or features in there for depositing checks, for doing a budget, for doing all kinds of things. So I highly recommend that you look into your bank. In this case, I'm listing Fidelity, but anything, Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank, almost every bank and almost every brokerage has something there. Okay, the next one I list in finance here, it's Google Wallet. Does anyone here use Google Wallet or Apple Wallet? No? Okay. What it's handy for is it's meant so that you don't have to carry around your wallet. You put your credit cards in there. If you are going to a Vikings game or a Twins game or anything, you put the tickets in there, the electronic tickets. And it just makes it easy that you don't have to have paper copies, or if I go to Lon's, I don't have to take out a credit card and pay with a credit card. If I pay with the credit card, there could be somebody actually videotaping me and getting the number off of the credit card or things like that. All I have to do is take my phone, unlock my phone, tap my phone, and the items that I want are paid for there. The number that it used for the credit card is a one-time use number. So even if One's had somebody break into their computer system, they'd never get my credit card number. The one-time number that was used for that is the only thing that they see, and they could never make another charge with that. So it's probably 1,000 times more safe than using a physical credit card, and you don't have to carry it around, and it's right on your phone and available all the time. Okay, the next item in finance I mentioned here, it's called Square Register. This allows you to, comes with a little device, and you can swipe credit cards to take a credit card from somebody who doesn't have Google Wallet or other ways. I use this method. I have a garage sale every year, and a lot of people don't have cash anymore. Well, I can take and swipe their credit card, or they can pay me in PayPal or Venmo or Zelle, all these different methods to take their money for the garage sale there. Okay, let's move into the health and fitness. Fitbit, you don't have to have a Fitbit device, but certainly if you have a Fitbit device, you want this app. And it'll keep track and give you hints on how to stay healthy. It'll count your steps, your distance, how many calories you're burning, so it's kind of a nice little thing there. This is another app called iHealth. I forgot, maybe it was 6 years ago, I got a blood pressure device, and the blood pressure device talks to the app. So whenever I record my blood pressure, it records it in the app. And so then when I see my doctor, I can show my doctor, these are different readings that I took and when they were taken, and I don't have to write it down on a piece of paper or do anything like that. This is another device called Cardia. It's an app and a device. It's new here. And last year when I went in to see my doctor said, you're an AFib. I was not aware that I was in AFib, but he said, he sent me to a cardiologist, and what I did is I did my own research too, and I found this device, works for an iPhone or for an Android there. It does an EKG. It does a graph EKG, and it'll tell you if you're in AFib or not. And so it's kind of you don't have to run into the doctor if you think you might be in AFib. You can check yourself and see if you're in AFib there. And the device itself, it's a hardware device. I think lists for $60 or something like that. And then the app can collect these different EKGs, such that when you do go in and see your cardiologist, just like with the blood pressure, you can show them these EKGs. Okay, another app in the health and fitness, Map My Run. Doesn't have to be running, but it does work for running, walking, biking. It'll keep track of your route that you took and your pace and speed and everything like that. So it's kind of a nice little app there for keeping track of stuff. Okay. Another one in the health and fitness is called WebMD. Because the last thing that you should be doing is doing a Google search for health advice, because what you'll end up with is you'll end up with anything under the sun. It could be some paper that somebody wrote that it hasn't been validated. You want a trusted, reliable source. WebMD is one of the best sources for information out there. The other would be probably Mail. You can go out to the Mail, and Mail has an app too. It's just WebMD is rated higher than Mail. Okay. In the news area, I list here the Pioneer Press. So paper editions are getting fewer and fewer. In fact, they just went through a price increase. My dad likes to read the paper. But the last increase, I think they were bumping it up to $1,200 a year. You figure it out. And then you have to say, is it really worth it? I did find, again, I'm thrifty, I'm not cheap. I found if we unsubscribed from the Pioneer Press for 30 days and then subscribed as a new user, we could get it in a special deal for $200 for the entire year. So that's more reasonable. But part of that, you get an e-edition, which means that you can read it on your tablet or on your phone for free there. And and it saves, there's no paper to deal with or anything like that, so that can be nice. Okay, another one in the productivity here is called Adobe Scan. It's for if you see an article in a magazine or a newspaper and you want to send it to somebody, you don't want to send it as a picture, a photo. You usually want to send those kinds of things as what's called a PDF file. And Adobe makes this free package. You can use your phone, and let's say it's multiple pages in a magazine. You take a picture, and it cleans it up and crops it and does things, and you can add as many pages as you want, and then it creates a PDF file which you can then email or text message or just share with other people if you want to do that. Okay, also in the productivity, when you get your phone, let's say your phone is an iPhone, The mail package the email package that you have is the Apple email package. That actually doesn't have as many features and functions as the Google Gmail package. So if you have a Gmail account, and that's where your mail is, I'd recommend that you use the Gmail email app and not use the Apple Mail app. So you can use any app on any device. You don't have to use the one that just comes with your phone. And usually that's going to give you more features and functions. And also it may be more consistent from device to device. If you have an iPhone or that, and then you have a Chromebook, or you have a Windows, or you have an iMac, you can get consistency between all the different devices using these different packages. And that's also true of calendar and contacts. So as we all have multiple devices, phones, tablets, laptops, desktops, and things like that, having that capability on all of your devices makes it easier to manage your contacts and everything there. Because I run into people when I help them, some people have some contacts that are stored locally on their phone, some contacts that are up in the Apple iCloud, some contacts that are in Google because they have Google email, and they wonder why, I thought I set up this contact, where did it go? Well, it went to, you have to be careful when you save and tell it which you're going to use. And if you don't tell it what you're going to use, you're going to end up with stuff all over the place. Old emails, old telephone numbers from people, old addresses from people. So you want to have one address book, one calendar. You don't want to have multiple, or it'll drive you crazy. Okay, let's go in here. Let's see what time. Yeah, so in the search here, I've given presentations before on Amazon Alexa and its devices. Certainly if you have those devices to manage it, you want to have the app to manage it, and it makes it a lot easier. What's new this year too is all the AI stuff. So there's all kinds of AI apps, Chat GPT, Google Gemini, Grok, Microsoft Copilot. There's all kinds of artificial intelligent chat bots where you can chat with them or ask questions or create a spreadsheet or create a photo or anything under the sun that you can think of. These different AI assistants will let you do. So they can be fun to try. Just remember that don't give them any confidential information. Don't give them your social security number, because consider everything that you're giving to these chat bots or these searches is public information. So you don't want to be giving up your private information there. Okay, and then I mentioned here too in the security, Bitwarden is a password manager. Everybody needs a password manager. I'll be talking about in the March presentation, we'll be talking about passwords and passkeys and things like that. Shopping, I mentioned like this Centro, MPLS, Minneapolis, they're a restaurant. They're a restaurant where a server doesn't come up to you and take your order. If you want to place an order in Centro down in the village here, you have to use your iPhone or a tablet or one of their tablets, and you go on and you select your food, place your order, pay for it, and then they deliver it to you as you're sitting down there. This I mentioned, I have my insurance with State Farm. They have a program called Drive Safe and Save. There's a little device that you put in your car, and then it talks to an app in your phone, and it keeps track of everything that you do in your car. So how often do you drive? How fast do you drive? How do you make right turns? Are you making wide turns or are you making 90-degree turns and left turns? How fast do you accelerate from a stop sign or from stop? How much do you use the brake? Do you use the brake heavy that you're having to stop fast there? It keeps track of all of that and it gives you a score, A to D. And I like it because it's kind of like a little game. I want to make sure that I stay in the A's. If I stay in the A's, I can save upwards of $400 or $500 a year on my State Farm insurance. And now a lot of people will say, I don't want State Farm knowing what I'm doing. I don't want them to know that I go too fast on the freeway or I'm going 45 in a 35 zone. I say, I don't mind it if I can save $500 a year. And to me, it's just safe driving. It's promoting safe driving. And you could use it for that, or stick it in another car that you're not using or something there. I don't know, but yeah, it's again you have the two sides. The people will say, I don't want anyone knowing anything, and I say, well, I can automatically tell what kind of driver you are then, because you don't want to get rated on how you do your turns or your stops or your acceleration. But personally myself, I don't mind it, especially if it's going to save me a lot of money there. You can, there's other insurance providers, I don't know all of them, but quite a number of them now are doing this. Yeah, I think Allstate has it, and there's a few others, because really the device that you put in the car, it's just a little teeny device, doesn't really cost the insurance company much anything. The smarts is in the phone. The phone, all your phones have GPS. The GPS knows how fast you're accelerating, and it knows how you're turning, because if you're doing 90-degree turns or you're doing 30-degree turns, you're taking wide corners there. Yes?
Do you get a grade once a year, or does it tell you once a month how you're doing?
It tells you once a month, and then if you're paying every 6 months, they'll adjust your deal every 6 months there. And you do have the option. Let's say you try it and you're getting D's and you don't want to slow down and you don't want to turn the way they do. You can get rid of it and go back to what you were paying there. But if you are a good driver, and that's why they're saying we're promoting good driving. So prior to this, I was getting a discount because I was a low mileage driver. When I worked at 3M, I was in a van pool, so I wasn't putting that many miles on my car, and I get a discount there. Well, this is kind of an extension of that because they know that I'm not putting miles on the car. When I do drive it, this is how I drive. Gee, I'm not driving it at 4 in the morning, from 2 to 4 in the morning every day. I'm only using it to church and back on Sunday. But it is like having Big Brother look over your shoulder and that. But they're not going to be able to steal your bank accounts or do anything nefarious there. They're doing it because they want to reward the drivers that are driving safe. Okay, let's take a look here. Here's Wellzesta. So if you don't have Wellzesta, I highly recommend that you put that on there. Keep track of your activities and food and events, and now access to the recordings and things like that too. So I'd highly recommend that. Google Earth, I sometimes just like to look at exotic locations. If it's 10 below here in Minnesota, you can pull up the Bahamas and you can actually walk along the beach or along different areas, so you can kind of take a virtual trip through some of the other areas there. This I mentioned in the utilities. I get a number of people that have trouble with their printers. If you have a printer in your apartment and you're trying to print from your phone or from your tablet or laptop or that, and they're printing with trying to print with Wi-Fi, you need to have an app on your phone or that. If you have Canon printer, there's Canon apps. If you have an HP printer, there's HP Smart Print. If you have an Epson, there's an Epson app. So there's apps from all the different printer vendors to make it easier for you to print to your printer there. Let's see. Oh, this is another little device. Actually, I got free from State Farm. It's called Ting, T-I-N-G. They sent it out. All you had to do was return a postcard, and you got this. It's a little device that plugs into any outlet in your house, and it monitors the home voltage in the house. And every week I get a report of the spikes in voltage, because voltage is supposed to be around 120 volts, but it varies from as low as 100 to as high as 140 volts. Well, the lower voltage isn't that damaging, but higher voltage can damage your electronics. And so knowing that, it can help you say, well, maybe I should get what's called a conditioner or a power surge device, which will get rid of the power surges and clean up that in your house. Because if you've ever had, a number of people will have a TV in the house and they'll go, TV was working fine, and then I turned it on today and it's no longer working. Chances are it's just an accumulation of these power spikes that eventually killed the electronics in the TV there. And that can happen with laptops. It's not just laptops, it's TVs. Everything has circuits. Your refrigerator has circuits in, and your microwave has circuits in. So all these electronic devices can be affected by these power surges to cause trouble. The other nice thing about this is if power went out in my house, it would actually notify me on my phone and say, power went out at this time, and it'll tell me when the power goes back on, because the device can't communicate with State Farm until the power's back on, and so it can monitor the voltage and whether the power's on or off there. Okay. So that's the list. I went over that pretty fast there. Questions or comments or other apps? Before I get to the questions, on Monday I do the computer help, and there was a nice woman here at 3M, and she said, I have to talk to you because I found this app that is so helpful to me and my family, and it's called Trickster Bridge. Has anyone heard of that? And she loves to play bridge, and she plays bridge with her family. She has sons and daughters and grandchildren and that, and they all like to play bridge. Well, it's a package that you load on your phone or on your tablet or on your laptop, and you're playing over the internet. So they don't get together to play bridge. About 3-4 times a week, early in the morning, they connect with each other. And they're playing bridge. In addition to seeing the cards being played, there's also a video of the person and the audio. So you can talk and you can see, and just like you were sitting across the table from a person. And she found that very, very helpful, and they are very helpful to connect people. Her example was bridge, but there's literally every game that you can think of. If you wanted to play Monopoly with your family, if you wanted to play poker with your family, if you wanted to play any of those games, there's apps out there And a lot of the apps then let you video talk to each other and converse. And if you don't have family that's interested in what you want, you can even connect with other people all over. Now, you do have to be careful with other people because there are scams that people will try and lure people into. But if you're careful there, you can get a lot of enjoyment out of playing the games and some social interaction there. Okay, questions, comments?
How do I know what to do? Some of the steps been sitting here.
It actually depends on the operating system, and I'm surprised Apple hasn't built in. Google has built into their operating system that if you don't access the app, it'll come up after like 90 days and say, this is the list of apps that you have not used recently. Do you want to get rid of them? And you can either say yes, and it'll get rid of them all, or if you want to be selective, you can go through individually and get rid of them. But you can go into, I believe even on the Apple, if you go into the settings and then go to apps, it'll list your apps there, and then from there, it has a field out there the last time you used it. So that'll kind of tell you the last time you did something with it. And from that screen also, you can uninstall it to get rid of it. Now, just not necessarily a warning, just a heads up, some of the apps on your phone or tablet you can't get rid of because the vendor, whether it's Apple or Google or whoever, put it on your phone or device, won't let you get rid of it. But even there, you can do what's called disable. And the disable doesn't remove it totally from the phone, but it won't show up on your desktop and these other spots here. So, but it's good to go through and clean it up. And so, just like you mentioned, if you haven't used it in a while, you can get rid of it. And an example there might be, gee, I had a colonoscopy last year, and the health service, I had to load their app and do their thing. Well, I don't need it anymore, so it's always a good idea to go through and clean things up that you aren't using. It just makes your life simpler because you don't have to look through all the different apps and things like that either. And if you do need that app in the future, just download it and use it then. Yes?
You mentioned several of these disruptors. I am personally familiar with all of these, or I was not because they were recommended by Apple.
Yeah, the question was, am I personally familiar with all of the listed apps on here? And no, I am not familiar with them all. The ones that I use on a day-to-day basis, those are the ones that are marked with T. So now I have used quite a number of them there, and you'll see, I think the ones that are listed in T, I think it's like 60 of them. So I have like 60 that I've used on my combination. Some are on just my iPad, like the TV Guide. The TV Guide, I don't use the TV Guide app on my phone because the screen isn't very big. I'd have to scroll too much and that. And I use my tablet. I have my tablet right in front of my TV and that, as I'm sitting on the couch. So it makes sense to have it on that device. I don't have it on another device. And so many of these, because there's 2 million or 3 million, I could safely say that given the population in the world, what do we have, 8 billion people? No two people in the entire world have the same apps on their phone. Everybody, some people like to play games, which is great. Some people, go here or do this or visit this restaurant or have a Walgreens reward card and a Cub reward card and a Lund's reward card and all these different things. Everybody's different in what they do and how they operate. So I can safely say that there aren't two people in the entire world that have the same apps on. Yes, all of them on the list have been recommended, and so like the ones from PC Magazine. PC Magazine, if you're not familiar, was one of the first magazines to come out when computers first started. They've never taken money from a device company or a service company. So all of their reviews are unbiased. So they never, you take a lot of people, influencers today or websites today will say, I'll review your product if you send me a free version or that. So they're like the Consumer Reports or that, where they're above reproach as far as their honesty and what works. So a app isn't going to be listed on there unless it really is good. The other way, like I mentioned here, when you're looking at an app, like in this case, this photo scan by Google's, 50 million people, 50 million devices around the world are using this. So this is an indicator of how popular it is. If you go and find an app and there's 100 people using it, that's a red flag, or 1,000 people using it. That's a red flag that it's not that good. Otherwise, there'd be millions of people using it. So almost all these apps on the list there have well over 1 million people using it day to day. That also means that it's being updated and things like that. So let's go here to this photo scan by Google. And let's see, where is it? Where? I'm not seeing it right now. And usually it shows when it was last updated, and I can't see it right now. But most of these apps are getting updated on a weekly basis because there's bugs or new features or functions being added. So you want apps that are popular. You want apps that are being updated and the list does change. So if I compared the full list that I had to the presentation that I did 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, about 70 of the items of the 300 have changed. Items disappeared and new items came in there. I have an Android phone, but I have an iPad tablet. I mentioned I'm thrifty. I'm not cheap. Apple, as an example, I'll tell people, okay, so this is a phone here. This phone, when I bought it, it's 3 years ago or so, $199. Show me an Apple phone that I can buy for $199. The cheapest one is the Apple SE, $699. I can do more with this phone for $199 than somebody with an Apple SE can do. The pictures that I take with this phone, I'd compare it. So if somebody had the top of the line, the iPhone 17 Pro, I'm going to take better pictures than they can. Not because this camera is better, but because I know this phone and its capabilities. So taking a good photo requires more than just having an expensive $2,000 phone. The $2,000 phone can help a little bit, but if I try and take a picture from here and what I want to take is way, way across the room there, no phone's going to do a good job of that. I know enough that I take my $199 phone, walk across the room, take the picture, and my picture is going to end up 100 times better than what their picture. This is a Samsung, yes. And this models change every year, but this would be the equivalent, I believe, of a Samsung A15. And again, it's a matter of how you use it. Everybody uses things differently, and everybody's requirements are different. I didn't get a smartphone. Now, I've been in computers my whole life. I had a flip phone. I don't know when I converted from a flip phone to a smartphone, but I was a late adopter. The reason I was a late adopter was I wasn't going to pay the price. The plans were too expensive, and the phones themselves were too expensive. And what was it getting me? Gee, I could check the internet when I'm in my car somewhere. Well, most of the time I was at work or I was at home. I can check that on a laptop. I can check at a dozen different places. I wasn't getting value out of spending the money there. And so when the prices came down, that's when I got a phone. But even there, I have a T-Mobile. I have a T-Mobile account. I'm paying $15 a month for my T-Mobile phone plan. There's other plans out there. You can get them as cheap as like $8 a month. Mine is not unlimited data, because I don't need unlimited data. I get people that say, well, I can't work with 2 gigabytes or 3 gigabytes of that. And I go, well, that's up to you. The way I work, my podcasts, when I listen to them, I'm not listening to it streaming live. They're downloaded when I connect to the Wi-Fi. And pictures and that don't get backed up until I'm connected to the Wi-Fi. And so there's settings and ways to operate and apps and things like that again, everybody's a little bit different what they need and that, but I'm not one to spend more money than what I have to. And it's kind of, I equate whether it's a laptop or a phone or a tablet or things like that. One of the presentations I do, I equate it to a car, buying a car. If you go out and you want to buy a car, what works for one person doesn't work for another. Somebody wants a fancy race car. Somebody has kids to haul. They need space. They need this. They need gas mileage. They only have so much money to spend. But we have literally thousands of different makes and models of cars. It just depends on what people want, how much money they want to spend, what features they need. Some people, instead of a car, get a pickup truck because that's what they need. Okay, yes?
4 or 5 years ago, I looked into Duolingo, and it was free, but you had to give a credit card number. And my nephew, who's a computer major, he advised me not to do that. Do you think it's all right to do it now? A couple of things on the Duolingo. To sign up, frequently to sign up for stuff, they do want a credit card, and they'll have some level of free, and then if you need more, then you're subscribing there. An example would be the genealogy, the MyHeritage there. They have a free level, but they also have paid levels. When you sign up, in some cases you can't get around signing up without putting in a credit card. If you do put in a credit card, you want to make sure that it's a reputable company, so it's not a fly-by-night company that nobody knows anything about or that. Duolingo is a reputable company, and you also want to monitor your credit card. So as charges come in, if you see a charge that is brand new that you didn't authorize, then you can go back to Duolingo and say, no, I want to cancel, give me I'm going to dispute that credit card, and you aren't going to get anything anyway. So I I've signed up for a number of services where I do have to put in the credit card. I try and minimize what I do, but certainly some of the services you're going to have to give them a credit card. You're reputable, and then monitor your credit card. And if you signed up for something that said, we're going to give you the first year free, and then it's going to be $19.95 a month, the first thing that I do in my calendar is I put an entry for a year out to notify me to cancel it, cancel it, to look to see whether I want to cancel it before they start charging. So you can use your calendars, you can use reminders, but you want to be proactive, and so if something says we're going to give you a 30-day trial or a 60-day trial, great to do the trial. Just make sure that if you are going to cancel it, to put an entry in your calendar to remind you there. You're welcome. Any other questions? Well, thanks for coming, and try out some of the apps and do stuff, because there's a wealth of stuff out there. You're welcome. Yeah, 1 second. Let me turn off the recording here.